you said something that raised a red flag in my mind, Mr. Gomez. You said, in fact, that you had repaired phones that had these symptoms before.
Yes.
And you thought you could fix it. And in the course of trying to fix it, you accidentally broke something.
Yes. I paid for everything.
You broke those two things and you ordered the parts for those things. Why didn't you install them when you received those parts?
Because he don't want to let me do it. He told me, you're not going to touch my phone anymore, so I'm going to do it myself. I told him, if you do it, I'm not responsible after this. So he says, I don't care, and he walked out of the store, he took all the parts.
Doesn't that sound reasonable to you, the way he's described what happened? Because you seem to be going back and forth on a number of times, getting parts and taking them back, and getting parts and taking them back.
I gave him the opportunity to fix it, and he bought some of the parts.
Yeah.
And not the motherboard part that he broke. That's the most expensive part.
You said at some point you opened it up and you looked at the motherboard.
I did open it up.
Yeah. You opened it up and you concluded that the motherboard was broken.
No, it was still broken. He hadn't changed it.
How did you know in the first place that the motherboard was broken?
He did it right in front of me. He handed me my phone apart.
So, Mr. Gomez, would it be fair to say that you, having had experience with swollen batteries before, that you took a risk to repair this particular phone?
Yes.
Would it be fair to say that, therefore, you should be responsible to some degree for the phone repairs?
I always fix the phones. Always.
You always succeed?
Yes. And I have very good reputation. That's what I always try to give him something for free because I like to have my customers happy. I never had any problems until today.
Now, how do you value this phone at $1,500?
That's what I paid for, Your Honor.
How many years ago?
A couple of years.
Okay.
Just for the record, you bought the phone when it first came out?
Yes.
So if the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra 5G actually came out mid to end of 2020,
Out, but when I could get it, yeah.
you very well could have had it for 3 years.
If I got it at the end of the year, it's maybe a little over 2.
If he had come to you with a motherboard that was already broken, is it worth getting a new motherboard on a 3-year-old phone? Or perhaps could you buy an entirely new refurbished phone for less than that?
That's what I suggest, to buy a refurbished phone, and it's better.
And you could get it for much less than $1,500.
Correct.
I have nothing further.
Okay, we're going to excuse the parties while we deliberate in this matter. Thank you both very much.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Your
it.
Honor. Thank you, Your Honor.
This courtroom is now in recess. We'll have you wait outside the courtroom door.
Conundrum. No, look, the plaintiff has the burden of proof. And as I'm talking to you, I'm trying to figure this out. I do believe the defendant when he says he gave him a lot of free parts.
I do too.
And he kept coming back seriatim after he got one part, came back again, got another part, came back again. And I think the defendant is very credible about his reputation and his willingness. Now, I do think he took a risk.
Yeah.
And he admitted that he accidentally broke a part when he opened it up. Does that mean that he's therefore liable for the entire value?
No. And the plaintiff wouldn't let him install those parts.
Right. The plaintiff really prohibited him from fixing it.
From completing the job.
I'm troubled. The defendant said under oath his phone could not be fixed, but I tried to do it anyway. And I think the request for $1,500 is outrageous.
I think people on the internet, you can
Yeah,
see...
I found refurbished phones between $222 and $575. But I do think that he took his phone to the defendant. The defendant, in attempting to repair it, broke additional parts. I think we can't necessarily ignore that.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Just
He took the risk.
because he offered to make it better.
I would give him $350 and call it a day.
So I guess we're giving credit to the defendant for how much of the free items he gave him that he could use on this new refurbished phone?
He gave him about $300 worth of free items.
That
Wait,
seems
where
fair.
is
So he's
that?
already got that.
Well, he testified to it. For every item he broke, he ordered and then also gave him those parts.
Right. So he has spare parts now for a refurbished phone.
Correct.
That's
Right. So in
down
looking
to-
at the refurbished market, there's no shortage of refurbished options available at $350.
Yeah.
And in addition, he's also got, as
About
you point
$300
out, Yodit.
worth of free stuff.
So we have
You got a verdict.